dearest wife, Sarah, my son, Noah, and my daughter, Abby. If you're reading this, I can tell you with the utmost confidence that I die for something right and just. The cost of war is higher than any one life, and I happily give mine in defense of my men and family. Abby, I'm sorry I didn't keep my promise when I said I was coming home. My hopes for your future gave me the strength to protect everything we hold dear. You will always be Daddy's little girl. Noah, be an honest man. Keep your word. Only use violence as a last resort. You're the man of the house now. Sarah, please keep our baby safe. And find it in your heart to forgive me for leaving you alone. If my last breath is not in the battlefield, then surely it will be in your arms. Keep me in your hearts. Always.
Marine CO, Staff Sergeant Yusuf Omar, killed in action.
Hey, Mom. Dad. When I joined the Marines, I told you that I'm ready to give my life for fighting for a good cause. If I don't come home for any reason, then that's what happened. I hope I died doing something heroic. And in the long run, I hope that I made you proud. I promised myself I wouldn't get close to people here, but it's kind of impossible not to. I wasn't scared here, but I was homesick. Mom, I had a dream last night that you were making dinner. Yes, my favorite pork chops. And we were all at the table together. Tell Aunt Joyce I said hi and I love her. And give Bailey a big kiss and a new tennis ball from me. Everyone here has a mother and father. But you and Dad only have one son. So I'm sorry I didn't make it back. Semper Fi. Your loving son, Todd.
Private First Class Todd Kashima, killed in action.
Dear Andrew, it's Fleet Week. More ships are dry docked against the dawn sky. I'm home, but it's not home without you. I know I had what every woman envied, a husband that gave life more meaning. You were my handsome better half. Since the day we locked eyes, I thought of you constantly. I still do. The internal drive that earned me my rank cost me a marriage. The Navy imbued me to accomplish the mission and never quit. To that end, I'll never stop loving you, no matter where or when I go. Thank you. Being together was a gift. With love always, Laura.
Lieutenant Laura Gibson, Air Boss.
Martha, the Navy has made my life a long-distance love affair. The things I love are all far away. My home, my animals, you. I am doing important work. I'm ready for anything, even this. The military did not take my life. I volunteered it. I know this isn't easy. Please don't cry for me or us. Cry for a world that couldn't make peace. I think of you and my heart races. I smile, I laugh out loud, and people tell me I always seem so happy. I am. I have you. Yours forever, UTD.
Billy UTD, Lieutenant Junior Grade Drop Officer.
For my dear wife Olivia and my daughter Nesreen. If you are reading this, I guess I didn't make it home. I was prepared to face danger and death. I hope I did so with dignity. My time was cut short, but I had countless blessings. I married the perfect woman. I have a brand new daughter on the way. I'd be selfish to ask for more. I love you, Olivia. Welcome our baby into this world and cherish her for me. Remind her about her daddy. And please, never be afraid to do what you need to find happiness. Nasreen? Hello, sweetheart. I left for this tour before you were born. I'm sorry I won't be able to see you grow up. Daddy wanted to make the world a better place. That's why we made you. Keep me in your prayers and try to do one good deed every day. Be safe, my family. Victor.
Lieutenant Victor Diallo, Navigator.
Sir? I'm not quite sure how a son greets his father after not seeing him for a lifetime. Guess I say hi, Dad. Finally tracked down your address through the Human Resource Department in Washington. I had to use my birth certificate to prove we were related. I want you to know I followed in your footsteps. I joined the Navy. Thought it would make you proud. If we ever saw each other, we'd have more to talk about. I went to sniper school to be a sharpshooter, but my vision changed and I became an instructor. I'm currently deployed aboard the UNSA carrier Retribution. My mom Sandy passed away this year. I went back to the old house just before shipping out and found a box with your silver star for valor. My mom kept it all this time. I wish I'd known you still lived in Tennessee. I would have dropped by. Could have had a beer and caught up. I forgive you for leaving. I hope you're not mad at me for writing. Thanks for helping bring me into this world. I did my best to be a good man. Maynard Griffin.
Maynard Griffin, Warrant Officer First Class, Armor.
My dearest children. Well, as this letter will only be used in the event of my death, it may seem somewhat sorrowful, but I don't want you to see it that way, okay? I have always felt that our stay on Earth, the time we call life, it's a temporary gift to be spent in service of something greater than ourselves. Death comes to us all. It is not to be feared. I loved my job, but I hated war. But the secret mission I undertook every single day was to protect the two of you from anyone or anything that threatened your health and well-being. So promise me you will take care of one another, and please live your lives to the fullest, with all the love in my heart. Mum.
Lieutenant Commander Audrey McCallum, Chief Engineer.
Sir, we're behind enemy lines now in the heat of battle. Time is short. You've given an order from which there is likely no return. You did what had to be done. All in. I'm proud of you. You're a born leader, sir. Today was one of the worst days in history, and forgive me for saying it, but it was the greatest day of my life. I did everything I was trained for and more. Together, we fought the good fight. Over Titan, you said we were brothers. I wanted to know what a family really is. Now I do. Admiral Raines told me that a soldier is only as good as his last mission. If this is ours, then I can say, with certainty, we were damn good, sir. Better to burn out than it is to rust. Medal 1, out.
Petty Officer First Class E3N. So, for those who don't know, you can get an achievement for pressing those. I didn't know about that till afterwards, so I had to replay the campaign just to get it again. Also, Treyarch got involved in this game? Oh god. Honestly, at this point, I can't say too much about Sledgehammer yet because their newest game hasn't come out yet. But Treyarch is probably one of the last good Call of Duty developers out there still. Infinity Ward's just kind of slowly started to decline since 2009. Not saying they haven't made any good ones between 2009 and today, But I really feel as though these problems started to occur when they started firing some of their guys in 2009 because whatever the reason was, it didn't seem like a very strategic move because a lot of people in your studio basically liked these people and said, yeah, I don't like the fact that you fired this guy. We're going to go with him now, too. And now you've replaced it with a bunch of new guys who I'm not saying they don't know how to do their job, but now they've constantly had that mindset, whether it be their own personal opinion or Activision forcing this upon them to basically say, yeah, let's go to space. And you know, as bad as this game was, and it being so negatively received, there were some aspects of it that I did enjoy, like the space exploration, but the thing I didn't like about it was that almost every single character in this game died within the course of one freaking day, according to the timeline. So yeah, first mission being one day, and then everything else all on the same day. All those people, all those missions, one day. Good job, campaign. Also, lead military technical advisor, where's Hank Kiersey? I guess Hank Kiersey doesn't do games for Call of Duty anymore, and it sucks. Because he actually was pretty good at his job. Shut up, phone. Yeah, I'm not gonna answer that. Shh. Shut up. The longest amount of, end credits for a video game I've ever come across. But I'm assuming that they did that to allow the players to actually, look at all of those individual audios. Now, I'm not done with the campaign because I still have to show you the player-determined ending where I could shorten Koch's speech in the previous mission. I also have to go through all the after-action reports, all the bios and all that, because I didn't do that. Show you the most wanted board and all that. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to it. The walkthrough for this took a lot longer than it should have been, and I apologize, but I had a bunch of other things going on at the time, and I wanted to try and get a kickstart on the next game that I actually wanted to play and do a walkthrough for, which ended up taking a lot longer to upload too, because, the pace for gameplay is a lot slower than this game, which in most cases you can breeze by real quick. It's just run and gun, basically. Whereas this other game, you have to be careful and you have to tread lightly. There's still one more DLC left, I think, for this game before it's officially done, and the next game will be the next remnants of hype that the COD fanbase will have. I don't know if I'm going to pre-order it this time. I might get a certain edition of it, but I think I'll wait, mainly because I'm trying to save up for something bigger than a game right now. And, I don't know. That plus, I've already got myself really deep in all the other Call of Duty games that I have not yet finished, that still need finishing up, and I want to finish those projects first before I go and jumpstart another thing. I'm not saying I'm not going to do videos for the other stuff, but you know, I just kind of want to take it slow at this point until I can actually get things done. Also, if anybody has any suggestions or if anyone's willing to participate in assisting me with the Easter eggs for zombies throughout all the games, you know, leading up from Black Ops 1 all the way up to the current game, and that includes Ghost Extinction, you're welcome to do so. My PSN gamer tags on my PlayStation account it hasn't changed. I'm always open to new suggestions for what thing I should do first. Metro. I don't think I've heard any of these songs. Oh, these are all just songs from, some of them are from, like, the, Zombies mode. When I saw When I Hear Music, that's what I knew. And these are all their songs. Excluding the DLC packs, of course, because, you know, that makes sense. I just don't know what I'm gonna do next. Before I upload any more videos, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna review some of my older videos so that way I can actually get all the things on my checklist and mark them off so that way I know how much stuff is left for me to do for that one game, and then I'll just go to that game and finish it up. No robots were harmed in the making of this game. Thank you for purchasing and finishing our game. Infinite Warfare was a result of passion and dedication of individuals together to create the best game they possibly could. From the whole team at Infinity Ward, we'd like to thank our family, friends, and devoted fans for their support and patience through the countless hours later of that. I hate when they do that to me. First of all, I have a feeling like the no robots were harmed thing was a spin on Infinity Ward's old days when they used to say no cows were harmed during the making of this game, because you'd constantly see in their earlier games dead cows everywhere, and that was like the running gag for a while. I unfortunately feel bad for the people who had to make this game, because it was the worst Call of Duty game I've ever played. And I'm not just saying that because I hate space warfare, but every other character in this game was the most cliche character ever. It was so bland that you really didn't have a chance to really do much with the character. Like, you didn't feel much sympathy for him when you're dead. You're like, oh no, he's dead. But I mean, like, the sad part about that too, though, was the most the closest character in the entire game who's actually close to being human was the robot character, which is saying a lot about the cast. I'm not saying I hate the voice actors, but the people who were in charge of making this game really didn't expand too much. Now, everybody says, oh, these fictional warfare games give us artistic freedom, we get to a lot. Yeah, that may be true, but, you know, sometimes people don't want that. Or people want to see other things. They don't want to see the same thing being made over and over again, because at that point, you lose interest in your audience. I most certainly lost interest in this game real quick upon its release. I still play it occasionally, but I don't play it as often as I should. I mean, compared to all the other games, I haven't even gotten to the last level of the regular ranked matches yet. I haven't even prestiged on this game. I just barely haven't touched it. And that makes me feel really sad, but also not really at the exact same time, because we knew this game was garbage before it came out. The amount of dislikes on YouTube should have told them too, but they just decided, nope, we're gonna go with it anyways. We've seen other games in the past where if they didn't get such a great response, they were literally cancelled. However, Call of Duty can't afford a cancellation, because if they do, then their AAA franchise goes down the drain. Except, I would have rather they canceled the game and just worked on a better game rather than do something like this. I'll be honest with you, I was honestly expecting a sequel to Ghosts. Say what you want about Ghosts. I will admit it was not the greatest. It didn't do as good as Black Ops 2, which came out a year before. But you know what? If I were to choose between Infinite Warfare or Ghosts, I would pick Ghosts in a heartbeat, because for one, it wasn't as futuristic, there wasn't boost jumping, it was a down-to-earth title, aside from the fact that it had 2 space missions, but, you know, at least there weren't any boost jumps. And I was kind of expecting a sequel to that cliffhanger, but, again, the game had such terrible reception that they're probably not even thinking about making a sequel. Which is why I keep this is why it bugs me so much that companies like this decide, let's end the game on a cliffhanger. You're really gambling at that point, because you're hoping that this game will succeed, but it didn't. And I feel like nowadays, a lot of these developers, I can't say too much about Treyarch right now because they just finished their trilogy, but these franchises, or these developers now, like Infinity Ward, after they just finished their trilogy back in, 2011, 2010, they've been struggling to come up with new ideas, and they just keep making new games, but not really planning on making another story arc. They were going to do that with Infinite Warfare. I still hate that fucking name. But from the look of things and from the amount of negative reception that it got, I think that killed any potential ideas they had for making IW2 or 3 if they were ever going to go that far, which I hope they wouldn't, because, for one, once you go into space, how far can you go? Like, I feel like once you've managed to successfully travel the local cluster in our galaxy, like in less than the course of like a day, you've really advanced too far enough for people to really expect anything. What's next? You're gonna fight aliens? Cryptids didn't technically count because cryptids were according to the story, were originally from Earth. But, you know, game's fucked up as it is. Don't really know what to expect. Sledgehammer, if you're watching this video, I wish you luck, and I hope that the game, your upcoming game succeeds, regardless of the fact that, you know, you didn't make everything 100% historically accurate, which everyone should expect, even though it didn't make sense to set some basic ground rules or even add a content filter to prevent people from getting pissed about one measly symbol. I still hope that your game succeeds in delivering a successful Call of Duty game. I also hope that this will open the doorway for all the other developers to either make a prequel game to their existing trilogies, or just go to a war that you, like a real war that you haven't covered at all. And if you're worried about diversity or a measly symbol, go to World War I, because World War I didn't really have too many offensive symbols. They didn't have a swastika. There was plenty of diversity. You've got the French, you've got the French who had colonies, blacks too, fight along in their army the U.S. forces, Russia, Italy, Japan. It can't get any more diverse than that. Of course, you probably won't do World War I for a while, given that Battlefield 1 is still doing it. But I do hope that Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty World War II will teach you guys all something, and that is to... If you want to, like, I'm willing to make a compromise where if we can every so often get a game based on a real live conflict, then maybe I wouldn't mind these fictional conflicts from showing up from time to time, but I want a break. I don't want back-to-back futurism, fake, fictional wars. I want to see something that hasn't necessarily been done before. You've got plenty of conflicts out there that you can easily cover that most of the characters throughout the franchise has at one point been involved in. Russo-Japanese War, World War I, Korea, Cold War, Vietnam, the Soviet-Afghan War, Angolan Civil War, the 1982 Lebanon War, Persian Gulf War, Iraq. I think I'm missing one. Oh, First Chechenian War. I guess some elements of the First Cold War, because this franchise has 2 additional Cold Wars that just so happen to be fictional as well. But yeah, that would be great. And if you decide to remaster any of the old games from 2003 onwards, please, for the love of God, do not put in supply drops. And if you are, it better damn well stay to, like, cosmetic purposes only. If I see a single brand new weapon in that game, I will not play it. Okay? I've already gotten frustrated with COD 4 Remastered because it, for one, upon release, was sold exclusively for certain editions, and when everyone asked, will this game ever be available for separate purchase, they said no. 8 months later, it comes out as a separate game for $40. And, upon its release, it didn't have all 16 of the included maps. They only came with 10. Until a December update, which, if you ask me, I think they did that on purpose just so they could introduce their supply drop system into the game, because, again, why would you short sell a game like that upon release? You don't do that. This isn't a DLC. This was content that was originally included in the